Hey y'all, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Nay. Welcome to Kitchen Gardening Adventures. So in today's video, we are going to be starting seeds. So I already started my onion seeds and you saw that in the last video. So in this video, we are going to be starting a lot of seeds. I'm behind on seed starting as of right now. So we're going to play catch up. So I'm going to show you all the seeds that we're going to be starting. I already made my labels because that took almost an hour. So I didn't want to just show you guys that. But I already made labels of what I'm going to do. I want to kind of go over the plan of how I chose how to do things, the amount to do, and what I just have in mind. So I'm going to take you all along in that journey. But right now, I am going to be filling up my seed trays with the DIY seed starting mix that you also saw in the last video. So if you haven't watched that video, please go and see it. I'll link it in the cards on either side. So yeah, but I just want to show you all what I will be using. So I will be using these Epic Gardening 6-cell seed trays. I love that they have this big old hole. This is my first year ever using them. I bought these when these were on sale. So I bought this and I got a bundle where it came with this tray. So I'm going to be using this. I'm going to be using these 6 cells, this tray, and also the Bootstrap Farmer tray that I use for my onions. I'm going to be using those because I'm starting a lot of seeds. I'm going to fill up 2 of these with as many 6 cells as possible. So I'm going to show you all that. I'll show you all filling up my trays, how my seed starting mix looks, and then we'll go to where we are going to actually start the seeds. So keep on watching. Alright, so right now I am getting ready to fill up my seed trays with my seed starting mix. Like I mentioned before, that is in a different video. So right now I am just weighing the seed starting mix because it was already a little bit damp, but I just wanted to get a little bit more damp. So that way there's a good amount of moisture in it and you want to be able to squeeze it like that. And if you want some water to come out but not a lot, so that's what that is. So let me go over how I decided to start my seeds and how many. So back in like I think January, I decided on what I wanted to grow. I went through what seeds I ordered and all the varieties and what and what my family basically likes. So the one thing I know my family likes is sweet pepper. So I wrote down how many plants I would think I would. So I decided how many plants I wanted of the sweet peppers, and I wrote down a number and I was like, okay, I want about 4 plants of these bell peppers. I want 4 plants of these roasting peppers. So just things like that. And everything's going to cater to what your family is actually going to eat and what your family likes. So I just took time to do that. I also asked my family what they wanted to grow, or what they wanted to eat, I should say, and what I should grow for them. So just plan that out. And also, like, if you have grow bags, you need to plan out how many starts you need for your grow bags. If you have like green stalks like I do, if you want to plant in those, you need to figure out what plants and how many of those plants you are going to want for those green stalks. So, you know, just things like that to consider when it comes to your planning. And it may take some time to figure out what you want to start. So that's where planning comes in. This is back in February. I think this was like maybe either the last week or 2 before February. And I am packing the seed trays, so I'm just literally pressing the soil into them to the very bottom until I see that they're touching, and then I'm just compacting the trays and the soil in the trays. So that way they go to the top, because you want to make sure that you have enough room for that seed to spread its roots once it starts to sprout. So that's what I'm doing with my seed trays, and in a second we're going to get into planting the actual seeds, and I'm just showing you here how it's supposed to look. So that's literally what I'm going to do for all of my seed trays, and we are going to get started. Alright guys, so I'm done filling up my seed trays. So now we're going to get started into filling the seed trays. I think I want to start with herbs first. So one thing when it comes to herbs that's very, very important is that you need to make sure that the seeds don't need light to germinate, because everything really depends on like how deep you bury your seeds in. So if they need light to germinate, my best advice is to surface sow, and I'll show you what I mean by that. But yeah, I think I'm gonna start with my herbs, and then probably peppers, then tomatoes, and I think that's all I'm starting. There are some herbs and other things that are in my freezer that I need to grab, so you'll see that whole process. But yeah, so I'm just going to show you. I'm going to do, yeah, I'll just show you what I'm doing and what I mean by everything, and I'll explain everything. So yeah. Alright guys, so we are starting out with herbs. So I planted a lot of herbs this year because since I am moving gardens, I don't have the herbs that I originally had, and there's a lot of new herbs that I wanted to start. So right now I'm just going through and looking at the herbs, and then those are the tags that I made. Those are the tags I made earlier before the video, because it did take a while. You'll see that there is a lot of things that I want to start. So yeah, so right now what I am deciding is how many of each herb that I want to start, because there are herbs that I want more of, and there's some herbs that I don't need as many of. So that's also something to note, that you don't have to start a lot of an herb or a tomato or a pepper, but you just need to know how many you think you'll need to start. So with these 6 cell trays, if I have these going this way, that means I can plant 3 different things in 2 seed cells. So Thai basil, I only went with 2 seed cells. Tarragon 2, and then so far so forth. And then you'll see some that I decided to plant 3 of for each variety. So it just really depends on what you want, and it depends on how many plants you want. So that's how I kind of decide of how many plants. And like when you're deciding, especially herbs, like if you have perennial herbs, they'll come back year after year, so you may not need to plant them. So if that's the case, if you want to plant a little bit extra to make sure you ensure germination, I would do that. But if not, then that is something to consider. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm just really deciding on what herbs and everything I would like to start, and I will preference this right now. So at some point you'll see me recording on my phone in front of me. My intention was to be able to record the entire process of all the seeds that I've started, but I can't access the video from my phone that I recorded. So if you would like to see all the varieties and everything in detail, you can follow me on my TikTok account. My TikTok will be linked down below. I probably will put it on my Instagram, but TikTok is where I basically post a lot of things first. So if you would like to know the different varieties, then please follow me on TikTok so you can see everything. I go through and show you mostly all the herbs, tomatoes, and peppers that were started in this video more in detail if you would like to know the specific varieties of tomatoes, herbs, and peppers that I have planted. So I just want to put that out there as a note. So yeah, make sure you follow me on TikTok. Like I said, I will link it down below. I will also link all my other social media. I know I don't talk about my social media all the time, but it will be linked down below if you would like to follow. I post more on TikTok, but I will be posting more on Instagram and YouTube Shorts very, very soon. Alright, so let's start off with our herbs. So this is English thyme from Botanical Interests that I ended up getting. And these seeds are so small. You're going to see in a second that these seeds are so small. Like, okay, right here. I think I'm about to try to show you how they look. I can't even show you because I'm scared that they're just going to fall. Like, you can barely see them, but they are super, super, super tiny. And these are the seeds that I mean by surface sowing, because if you put these itty bitty tiny seeds under a bunch of soil, they're not going to germinate because they are so small that they can't get the light and push themselves through the ground, or through the soil, I should say. So I'm going to be surface sowing some of these seeds, and you want to do that because you want the light to be able to help them germinate and to hit them and things like that. So like here, I'm about to just start sprinkling, and as you see, I'm not covering them at all because you don't want them to not germinate. Alright, so here I am just spraying down the surface, and I forgot to do this, but this is what I will do. I will spray down the surface of my seed trays on top of the soil because I want soil contact with the seeds, and I find that it's easier to pre-spritz your seed starting mix, especially when you have these smaller seeds. When you have your smaller seeds, if you try to spray them afterwards, you can actually like move them away or drown them. So here I am again surface sowing these herbs because I want to ensure the germination, but I don't want to sprinkle it and then spray it super hard and the seeds either fly off the soil or they get drowned. So that's why I personally do that. You don't have to. I find it easier, especially with the smaller seeds, and it helps with the germination, I will say. And you'll see in my TikTok videos that I do go ahead and just spray them again, but very lightly because I don't want the seed to brush off. So I did some thyme. Looks like I'm doing some Greek oregano, and I just have a bunch of different herbs that I'm starting. Herbs are one of those things that you definitely get a lot of bang for your buck for, especially if they are a perennial herb. A perennial herb would be your thyme, oregano, sage, and your annual herbs will be your basil. And I start both, honestly, because I use both. Like, just make sure, like, with your annuals, like basil, you have to start that every single year. But your thyme, your oregano, your sage, and all those other things, you only have to start one time, and they'll come back year after year as long as your frost does not kill your herbs. Herbs are also great pest deterrents, so I would say if you can plant your herbs around your vegetable plants and things like that, so that way there will be less pest pressure, I should say. It won't completely deter your pests, but it'll be a lot less pest pressure. So that's why I think herbs are great. And you can also preserve herbs. You can use them medicinally as well, depending on the type of herb that you have. Those are chives. The chives have not come up yet, and I think I'm going to try to re-sow them this week as I speak, so that way I can go ahead and try to get more chives. I have not grown chives at all.
And I'm going to show you that with these chives, these are a little bit bigger than a traditional herb seed. So I'm using this little tool that I believe I got a TikTok shop seed starting kit, and this came with it. So I use the end to poke a little bit of a hole in it, and then I just put the chive seed inside the hole. Nothing too deep because you still want it to germinate. Some of them said surface sow, but even when I surface sow, I feel like I just didn't get any germination. So I'm going to try again, but you'll see when I do my other seeds. But yeah, that's what I do. I just poke a hole and I put them in the hole. I slightly cover them, and I also make sure that they get nice and moist before I completely cover them. But yeah, so that's what I'm doing right here. Please enjoy, and I will be back in a second. Alright, so here I am going to be starting my tomatoes. I am growing a lot of tomatoes this year for a few different reasons. One, I am growing tomatoes because I want some fresh slicing tomatoes, and I also want some canning tomatoes. So those are beef sticks. So that will be our one of the slicing tomatoes. And my dad requested red tomatoes specifically for health reasons. So I am doing red tomatoes. I am doing paste tomatoes, which would be Romas and San Marzanos, because I want to learn how to can this year. That is my goal for 2026, is to learn how to actually can things. So tomato sauce is one of the things I want to learn how to can. And also, I like the paste tomatoes because I made salsa with them last year, and it was so delicious. And I like that it wasn't as runny, and that there wasn't like a whole lot of water in it, but just a lot of meat. So that salsa that I made last year was delicious. So I want to be able to do that. So I used my San Marzanos and I used my aromas for that salsa. So that was so good. And speaking of salsa, I believe I am sowing tomatillos now. Me and my boyfriend specifically, are obsessed with salsa verde. We literally eat that on everything if we could. We put it in rice, we put it on tacos, we put it on everything. So tomatillos are one of those things that are high on my priority list because I want to, one, put some salsa verde in the freezer again, because that's what I did, and I used it in dishes throughout my cooking project that will be coming up at some point. But I used the frozen salsa verde I had in my freezer for that, and it was delicious. And then I want to also again learn how to can. So canning salsa verde is one of those other things that I would also like to do. So I'm doing a lot of tomatillos. I think I had 4 to 6 tomatillo plants in my plan, and I believe currently I think I have 4 to 6 that I've germinated. So I'm right on track with how many tomatillos that I want to have grown. And then I'm also doing cherry tomatoes because last year we had so many cherry tomatoes, and I don't even like tomatoes like that, to be honest, but I've had homegrown tomatoes and that changed everything. So uh cherry tomatoes are one of those things that have been requested too because we like to eat those in salads. There's a dish I want to try that you can use cherry tomatoes with, and they're just a good snacking tomato in general. So that's why I'm doing so many. I'm doing a lot of plants of specifically the Romas, the San Marzanos, and the pineapple tomato, which is a slicing tomato. I've heard nothing but good things, and I'm looking forward to that. So those are my tomatoes, or some of the tomatoes. I'll show you everything in my TikTok video, and yeah. Alright, so I have this container variety of tomatoes, and I wanted to test on this for a second. It's because I would like to grow things in my green stock, so I'm doing a container variety green stock, and this was a container bush tomato, so I just wanted to see how it grows in the green stock, purely, just for my own, curiosity, and to show people that you can really grow a lot of food in 2 square feet of space with the green stock. So that's my goal. I have other things that I'm going to put in the green stock, but this will be my first time ever having tomatoes in a green stock. Alright, baby. These are peppers. Let me tell you something. Me and peppers go together. You can't have nay without peppers. So I love me some peppers. And those are my hot peppers. I am a hot pepper girl. I love me a good hot pepper. So I am doing a lot of those. I'm trying some new varieties this year, and I'm super excited. I've gotten some from Renee's Garden, Botanical Interest. The one I'm most looking forward to is the Megatron jalapeno because I love me a good jalapeno. I just heard that it's not as spicy, so I end up doing more regular jalapenos just in case I need that little extra spicy little kick. But the Megatron would be good because some of my family members don't like very spicy peppers, so I think they'll enjoy that. But I'm also doing a lot of sweet peppers and things like that this year because my family, that's what they will eat, and we use a lot of that in our cooking and everything like that. So I am doing a lot of peppers. Peppers is like one of those things that I can't have or I can't go without. So yeah, but like I said, in my TikTok video, you'll be able to see the varieties and everything. But I realized that I did not do an outro to this video, so I'm going to go ahead and do the outro now. Thank you all for watching this video. I hope that you really enjoyed it, and I hope that, you know, this video inspired you to start your own seeds. This year is the year of gardening. I feel like you should definitely garden and start your seeds and everything like that. And comment down below on what you are planning, where you are starting, where you're from, what zone you're in, so people can have a idea of their last frost date. And I just want to thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate you guys so much, and please let's have a discussion down below and let's comment. And I just want to say thank you for watching. Again, I probably thank you like many times, but honestly, just thank you. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a good day. I hope you have a blessed day, and may God bless you all. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.